Today we're going to be taking a look at Steve Hale Evangelistic Association website. So we'll just talk about what different things you can do in the back end of your site. So we'll start out going to the URL and then /wp-admin. That's where you'll log in. And we'll give you a username, or we'll use your email address and then a password, and that's where you would put that in. And then once you log in, now you're in the back end of your website. And so I'm going to go down the list of these things here on the left and go through how to use the basic functions of your website just to get you set up so that you know how to do that. So there's nothing over here in the right that we really need to look at. So we'll start with updates. And here is the plugin and theme updates. And so if you ever see a little number, then that means there are updates. You can select all of them and update the plugins, but you also we also do that for you regularly. We log into all of our sites and regularly update all of the plugins. So you can worry about that, or you don't have to. Either way. Posts are for blog posts, and you currently are not using blog functions on this site, so I don't need to talk about anything there. If you ever wanted to set up a blog, that's easy enough to do. We could get that started, and then you can just contact us and we'll help you with that. But right for now, we'll just skip over that. We'll talk about responsive accordion. So I'm going to open up a new tab just so I can look at the site. This is where we have your media is in a responsive accordion. So as you can see, it's like an accordion because it opens and closes. So this is where we have all of the media that you would use. So on the actual page called media, we just have this short code here. And so in this plugin is where this is located. So I'll show you kind of how to update these things. If you ever get new headshots or new posters, this is where this would go. So for photos, it looks like we have another short code here for a FooGallery. So that's down here, and I'm just going to work my way down this list. So we'll talk about FooGallery in just a moment. So that's just where we've got the pictures. So again, that's just short code. And if you just keep adding or changing pictures in the FooGallery, you'll never have to change that. So you can just leave that the way it is. For posters, so what you want to click on is this editor here, and so it takes you to this and click on visual. So we've got these different PDFs. It looks like they're PDF files. So these are for people to be able to download if they want. And so these are in your media. So if you ever get new folders, then you would just come into this accordion here, go to add media, and then you're going to upload files, and this is where you would drag and drop those PDFs or whatever they are. So you've got them here. So this is a poem, I think, and so you would come in here to this URL and copy that, and then what I've done here is I've hyperlinked these, and then you would link it to that URL. So then you'd come in here and let's say I don't know why it's highlighting like that. Let me cancel this real quick. So you'd come in here and then you'd add whatever the title of it would be, and then you would highlight it, add the URL, like, oops, I didn't copy it. So whatever, copy it, paste it, apply it, and then there it is. And then you would hit OK. I don't want that there though. So then you would hit OK, and then you would hit update here to update those changes. And so the same thing, we have the same thing here for print. This is the same thing. So you would just add all of this is hyperlinked. So you would just add it to the media folder and then find that URL here and then copy it and paste it as a hyperlink. And so that's how we've done all of the items here. You want to see the visual side there. So that's how we've done all of those. And if you want to add a new accordion, you can do that. And then you would just change the accordion icon to that angle right, which I think it's this one, yeah. And then add your information here. And then if you want to get rid of it, you just delete it like that. And then you would hit update as you make any changes. So those are what we've only got that accordion on one place on the site right there, just so this looks pretty clean. So I think that should set you up to kind of know how to use that. Next thing on the list is media, and this is just your media library, which we had access to within the accordion, and you have access to your media library wherever you might need it. But this is all on one central location, so that you can look at your media, you can edit it or crop it, whatever. But those options are also available wherever you would need them. So, and you can add new. Let's move on to forms. Looks like you have one contact form. Probably here, it's located here. So if you ever want to add anything onto this form or rearrange it, they're rearranged just by dragging them. You can click on this right here, and then you can make it a required field. You can change what this is labeled as here. You can add phone number, date, time, any of these things. If you add that, it shows up down there, and you can drag it where you want it. You can change the phone number format. You can change the label, whatever you want. And that's the main things. I don't see that you would ever change this much. You can add buttons to say, something like that. And then you can add more or subtract, or you can get rid of these. Whatever. Let's look at settings. And under the settings, this is where you would see notifications. And what I would do is duplicate this, and then we'll send these to, and I can set this up for you. We'll send these to whatever email we want to send them to. So I would just change this title to whatever email, and then change this email, and then it's set up to send all fields, and then I would hit update notification, and then it's going to notify that email whenever a form is submitted. So under entries, this is where any entries would be located. So we'll get those set up to send to you, and so that you can see those. So this is where those are located. You can also get to them if you go to forms. You can see entries right here. So let's move on to pages. I think a lot of these are taken directly from your old site, so we don't actually need all of these pages. An easy way to do this would be if you go to this About page or the Meet Steve page or anything like that. At the bottom, there's an edit button, and that would take you directly to the place where you can edit that. And I use this function a lot when I'm making updates for people, just to avoid the confusion of the pages, because sometimes we have pages that aren't live, but they're not in the menu, so you're not able to see them. But you can also get there this way. It's not totally confusing. It's just a little confusing. sometimes, so we can go in and delete the ones that we're not using. So in these pages, they are edited just exactly like I edited those accordion things, the sections in there. This is the same. So you can change the size of your text. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can bold, italicize, bullet anything. You can align it differently. You can hyperlink anywhere. You can add pictures. And so if you wanted to edit this picture, you just click on it and then you can align it left, center, right. You can edit the size of it if you'd like to make it a different size. You can do a custom size. You can replace it with a different photo. And then we've got a photo down below, which you could do the same thing with. And then you would always hit update when you're done. And let's see what other pages. So on this page, which is the one I just had open here, we have a picture at the top here. And that is so we've got all the same wordings, same options for formatting. And this one has a featured image. And so you can just click on it and you can change it by clicking on whichever image you'd like here and upload it. You can upload it from here and then select it. And that's the only difference on this page, is that some of the pages have a featured image like that. Some of them don't. So these are just formatted. Let's look at this page real quick. I'm trying to see if there's any other that would be helpful. So these are just hyperlinked. Just want to make sure I show you how to use everything. Yeah, this has a featured image up here and then just the same kind of stuff on that page. This one, we use this columns plugin, and so there's shortcode here to cut these voices of experience, these reviews, to cut them in half. And so you've got to make sure that shortcode is in the right place so that these remain in two separate columns. So if you end up updating this page, I would just make sure you have them. So this one half last, that needs to stay at the bottom. This needs to stay in the middle. And then this needs to stay at the top. So if you want to add things around it or whatever, just know that that's there. Otherwise, I think we've got you set up so that you know. I think that's the main things that you need to know how to do. If you want to add any of these options, so wherever my cursor is on this page, if I say add form, you can add that contact form. Just deselect the form title and form description, insert the form, and then wherever my cursor was, it's going to add the short code right there for you. But obviously we don't want that there. And then you always hit update when you make changes. I think that's the main stuff. I think that's really going to help you get started. And this is just so you know, if you click pages, like I said, some of the titles don't exactly match up on there to what they are on the menu here, and that can get a little confusing. So if you're already logged in and you open up another tab, you can just go down to this edit button, and that's a helpful way that I do it when I edit pages. So let's move on to the next thing. Comments would be like if you had a blog, which you don't, so we don't really need to worry about anything there. We just have some of these things are just on the site, so not anything to worry about. FooGallery was the item I mentioned earlier. So let's take a look. I don't think we're using this. Yeah, we're not using the posters one, just the pictures one. Excuse me. So this is just all of these promotional photos that you had that were on. We used this short code in the Accordion. So all you'd have to do is, if you wanted to delete these items, click the X, and if you want to add more, click Add Media, and either upload files or choose them from here. And then you would hit update. And all of this is the formatting of the FooGallery, and I don't think that you would need to worry about anything there. You can add a new gallery if you want, but this one, and then you could just mimic exactly what this is and duplicate this. So yeah, I think that's all you need to know about FooGallery. Pretty simple. Testimonials, I don't think we're using this unless I am wrong. Are we using this on the homepage? Maybe we are. Ooh, we need to fix that. I will fix that when I'm done with this video so that that goes to the homepage. Okay, so we are using testimonials here for this homepage area. So let me show you how to update this. Pretty simple, pretty easy to explain. So we've got all testimonials and rotators. So the rotator is what we add the testimonials to. So let's say we've got new testimonials that we want to add. I would click Add New here. So let's just take a look at what this one looks like. So we've got Dr. Mark Pitts here. We've got his quote here, and then scroll down, attached to rotator, and we've got homepage selected. So there's only one rotator. It's titled homepage, and if you check this box, it will appear on this homepage slider here. And then you've got his title and this image. So basically, if you ever have a new one, you just want to make sure you do the exact same thing, is click Add New, put the name, add the quote, select homepage, and then make sure this is formatted here, this author information, because this is what's going to show up down here. And then add the image. And you have one rotator, which is the homepage one, and we've got this all set up and formatted. So don't really need to worry about anything here unless you want to make changes here, but it's all set up to look nice. So let's move on to homepage areas. This is what allows there to be this homepage area and then this homepage area. And then I'll show you how to get to these other items in just a moment. So that's where the testimonial rotator shortcode is. So that homepage rotator shortcode is just going to be right there, and we've got the word testimonials. So you can see that right there. And then we've got it formatted so that there is a picture, this preaching image, and then we've put a little bit of a color over it with some transparency over the top of that. And we've got padding checked yes, and we've got the position of the photo just right. So you're probably not going to change out anything, but if you ever were to, you can change out this background image if you get a different image of him preaching that you'd like to use. I think that one looks pretty good. I think that looks nice, but if you ever did want to change it, you would just go to Add File, and again, you're in this media library where you can choose. And you can select a different color to overlay over the top, and you can change the transparency right here. And then you would always just choose update. So otherwise, I don't know, or you would select push update to update the page. I don't know that there's anything else you would ever want to change on this homepage area. And then the other one is the store. And I don't think there's anything that you would need to change here either, because we've just got your recent products. And so as you add products, the more recent ones are gonna show up here. So yeah, I don't know that you'd ever want to change anything there, and we've just got a white background for that. So that's where those are located, just so that you're aware. Let's move on. You're not using this staff members pod, since this is, not using that. WooCommerce, we have the settings set up here. And this is where you can view your orders right here. And it looks like we've brought over some of the ones from your old site. And then this is where your orders are located. So right here, you can view these from there. Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing, didn't I? And trying to think, we have the settings set up for your WooCommerce page, but this is where they're located. If you want to change things in here, you're more than welcome to. Anything like that, you're more than welcome to change, but we've got that all set up, and yeah, that's where your orders are located here. So let's move on to products, and this is where we've got all of your things for sale. So let's look at a lot of these are, let's look at one that's not a draft. Here we go. So this is one I think I set up, Storm Warnings book. So I'll just click on it. And you've got your title here so that you can see it. And you want to make sure that the content and everything that you want to appear. So I'm going to click on it right here. Is located in this section, because this section, whatever you post here, is not going to show up. You need it to be here if you want it to show up. So then you've got your title in the top, and whatever information you want has to be here. You can format it just the same way you did with the pages. And then your featured image is here, just like we did on featured image on the page. And you'll select that from here. And then it's a simple product, and then the price goes right there. So how I would do this if I were you, since we've already set these up, some of these products up for you to work and look right, what I would do is I would duplicate one of these products, and then I would just change it to have the right information. So put the title there, put the right information down here, change the price, and add the right photo, and then click publish. And then that's going to show up on that homepage area with the most recent products. So that is how I would do that. You can add a new product. It's not going to be, you would do basically the same thing if you added a new product, but also if you duplicate it, then you know that you've got everything right. And I don't think that you're not using variable products. So I think you're good just to create a new product and make sure that the price is right, and you've got all that right there. So yeah, I think that's all you need to know about products. Yeah, I think that should be good. So we'll move on. Genesis is the theme. I don't think we need to talk about anything there. So let's talk about appearance next. We have widgets and menus we need to talk about here. So let's start with widgets. So we've got a few things from your homepage here. This is the image up in the top left, and then we've got your menu here. Don't need to worry about that. So we have short code we have Revoultion Slider. So I'm going to show you how to use that. And how that was added to right here is it just picked it, selected where we wanted it to go, and clicked add widget. And then it appears where you want it. And then you choose which slider. And we want to use the home slider. And we would hit save. So then this is also where these items are located. So how can we serve? We've got the image. And then the text here with the link. So if you ever want to change where this links to, if you ever want to change the link text, if you ever want to change this text, that is all where it is located. This is where all these items are located. You can change the title, the image, the size, the link text, and then this text here, and then just hit save. So now you know where all that is located, and this is how you would get to it, and if you ever want to change any of that. And then this is just so that we can have those homepage areas. And I think that's probably all you need to worry about under widgets. Oh, also this. Okay, so this is at the bottom of your page. Right here. So if any of this ever changes, you know where that's located. You can change any of that information. It's formatted just like the pages, and then you hit save. And that's it. That's all we got. So that's the main things you need to know there. So let's talk about menus. I think you just have one. Yeah, just your menu, which is up here. So if you ever want to change the order of any of these items, if you ever create a new page, let's say you create a new page, it's going to show up under most recent, or you can go to view all or search. And then you would select it, add it to the menu, and then it's going to show up at the bottom, and you can put it wherever you want. You can make it a sub menu item. You can change the navigation label to change it to say something else. You can remove it. And then these are all just able to be dragged however you want. So if you ever want to change the order or make something a different sub menu, you can do that. And if you add a page, just want to be cautious about how much room you have up here and make sure it looks okay. But those are the main things about menus. Probably not going to change a whole lot there. Plugins, that's what is used to build your site. And if you ever want to add more, you can. Users, this is going to be where you're going to have your login for your admin. And so if we create an admin for you, this is where it would be. And then you can scroll down and you can change your password if you'd like. Probably all you need to know there. I don't think we're using FooBox, and none of those things are important. No, we're not using that. So the next thing we want to talk about is Slider Revoultion. And that's what's used for this top part of your homepage. I don't know if this one's being used at all. No, we ended up building that on Widgets. So this is the one that's on your homepage. And so this was added. This can be added anywhere through under slider settings. This can be added through this shortcode. And then you go to slide editor to edit the actual slides. So again, a useful tip for things that have already been created, if you don't want to make them super different, you can just duplicate these slides and then change what I would do is duplicate them and then just change this out. But you've got 2 slides that they don't seem like they're going to change. It's not like you're going to put upcoming events or anything on here. Some organizations or whatever use these to create new upcoming events, but I think this is just kind of talking about who you are and what you do. So, but if you ever want to add a new one, my suggestion would be to duplicate it. And then you can mess around with it without having to worry about it. But this is where your font is located. The font size and the line height need to be equal so that it doesn't get messed up. So you've got your font, and then this is linking to probably your men's conference page, and so that's under actions. And then we've got click simple link and then the link here. And you can change the photo in the background through the media library right there. You can select any picture here. You're going to want whatever picture you use in here to be at least 1,000 pixels wide. It won't look good otherwise. You can change the color of your text to whatever you want. You can drag these around, or enter a color hex value. Just put it in there. And then when you make changes, you just need to make sure you go through each screen size and make sure it looks okay. And these are the outlines here. So it just you need to make sure that it looks all right when you preview it through all these different screen sizes. So I think that's probably all you need to know. This is how you align and center the items. You can view the layers by clicking here, and it'll highlight those, and then the animation is done through here. You can check whichever one you want. You can change it. You can change the timing on these, those kind of things. That's where all that stuff is located. I don't anticipate you changing that a whole lot. And then you would always hit save when you're done. But again, I would duplicate a slide, and then you can make it invisible by clicking on this red dot, and you can make it visible by clicking on the green one. So that's how I would do that if I was ever wanting to make any changes, or if you just want to change the words, all I gotta do is click on that, and then this is where I change the wording, and then hit the green check and hit save. So those are probably the main things that you need to know there. And then WP Google Map we use often, but I don't think that you have a map on your site. You don't. And that makes sense. Don't need one. But if you ever do want to add a map, we can show you how to do that. But not currently using that. So I think that's most of the things that you're currently using on your site. So if you have any questions, feel free to email or call us at any point, but this should get you a good start, just showing you how to update and change and navigate the back end of your site. And let us know if you have any questions or need any additional help.